Yeah, I mean, you have to factor it in. I mean, to your point, we were fortunate that Caitlin was able to get some gameplay and, very casually got back on the court and won the MVP at the qualifier. So happy for her. She's looked great. She's worked incredibly hard to be in a good spot from, the first day of training camp. But to your point, Sophie and Ty have not played in game action. So what we don't want to do is overload someone that
It's
is coming
really
back.
impressive, and some casual fans might think anyone could do what she does, but that's not true at all. It's something special. Stephanie White was talking about how great Caitlin Clark is, and how much effort she's put in. The team is happy because she was able to play again and even won MVP at a qualifier, which shows how good she looks right now. She's worked very hard to be ready since the start of training camp. However, the team is being careful because some players, like Sophie and Ty, haven't played in actual games yet. They don't want to push anyone too hard, especially someone coming back from injury. The surprising part is that Caitlin Clark's injury happened over a year ago, and since then she has played at a high level internationally and looked fully healthy. So it feels confusing why the team is now worried about limiting her minutes for the 2025 season.
40 minutes every night.
Okay, but listen, that goes directly to Caitlin Clark. Sophie Cunningham was never playing 40 minutes a night when the team was healthy. Sophie Cunningham was coming off the bench, shooting threes, being an enforcer, playing defense. Sophie Cunningham was playing like maybe 20 minutes a game for real. That is strictly about Caitlin Clark, who was playing 31 minutes a game and stuff like that. You trying to tell me you're trying to limit her to what, 25 minutes? Like, nah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that, bro. We are trying to go full throttle. Like, teams got better. Y'all decided to run it back while other teams went and got better, okay? I'm not trying to
Now
hear
it becomes clear who this minutes restriction is really about. Caitlin Clark played an average of 35.4 minutes per game last season and helped the Fever reach the playoffs for the first time since 2016. She showed great toughness, playing through tiredness, physical contact, and everything else in the league. After proving she can handle that kind of workload and stay strong through a full WNBA season, the front office now wants to reduce her minutes to around 25 or 28 per game. At the same time, other star players in the league are not being limited and are playing as much as their teams need. That's why it feels strange. Caitlin Clark is a special talent who turned the Fever into a playoff team, yet now it seems like the team thinks she needs to be held back.
We have a few back-to-backs, and even when they aren't back-to-backs, we're playing every other day just about. So being able to create a rotation that does have some depth, we have a lot of versatility in this group. I'm really excited about that, so that we're fresh when we get to the playoffs. And, Kelsey Mitchell's wheels don't fall off this time. That's the goal. I think that was really a point of emphasis in this free agency to make sure that we were really smart about ensuring the health and well-being of our players.
This is where the reasoning starts to fall apart. Back-to-back games are normal in the WNBA, and every team and star player has to deal with that kind of fatigue. That's just part of professional basketball. Last season, the Fever finished 20-20 with Caitlin Clark playing heavy minutes, made the playoffs for the first time in 8 years, broke attendance records, and had the highest TV ratings in league history. Yet the front office's response is to limit the very player who made all of that happen. Looking deeper, the Fever had a full off-season to build around Caitlin Clark. They knew they had a special player who averaged 19.2 points and 8.4 assists as a rookie, leading all rookies in scoring, assists, three-pointers, and minutes. But instead of building differently, they focused on adding more guards. They signed Ty Harris as a backup point guard, kept Sophie Cunningham, who hasn't been a high-minute player, and even used their 10th overall draft pick on another guard, Raven Johnson.
Malpractice. You are the only person that had her in the four. You are the only person who thought that. Nobody else thought Raven Johnson was going to be a top 4 pick. Have you lost your mind? It's like, come on, bro.
A guard like her that can come in and run a team with great leadership, great competitive drive. Obviously on the defensive end of the floor is really, really elite already. And then you see how her game has grown, shot almost 40% from 3-point this year. I mean, we just really loved everything about her. So when she was sitting there at 10, of course,
calling Raven Johnson a top 5 level pick doesn't really line up with what most draft analysts were saying. She was generally projected in the mid to late first round and known more for defense than scoring. So that claim feels a bit off. What this move seems to suggest is that the Fever are loading up on guards, which raises questions about their priorities. Instead of clearly building around Caitlin Clark, it looks like they're adding depth at her position, which could end up being used as a reason to reduce her minutes. The bigger issue is team needs. Last season, the Fever struggled with rebounding and size, especially in the frontcourt. Even though Aaliyah Boston is very talented, she often had to deal with stronger, more experienced post players without enough support. That was an obvious gap. With the 10th pick, they had a chance to bring in size, defense, and rebounding, maybe a versatile forward who could help in the paint and take pressure off Boston. Instead, they added another guard, which makes the roster more crowded in the backcourt and makes the minute situation around Caitlin Clark even more complicated.
Yes, it adds tremendous depth. But because we have Ty Harris, because, obviously we've got Caitlin back in healthy, it gives her a chance to really grow. For every rookie coming in this league, there is a learning curve. It is faster, it is more physical. So this gives Raven the opportunity to step into camp, to learn from our veterans. And, we expect her to contribute, no doubt about it. But, it gives her a chance to really get comfortable and, find her way. And also our coaches a chance to figure out where they're going to put her in the rotation.
There was other options.
Leadership and competitiveness are important, but in professional basketball, skills like shooting, scoring, and creating offense are what actually win games. Raven Johnson shot 36.8% from 3 in college, which is decent, but in the WNBA where the line is farther and defense is tougher, that number usually drops. She's not known for running pick and roll or leading an offense when Caitlin Clark is off the court. Instead, she mainly provides extra depth at the guard position, which can give the coaching staff a reason to spread out minutes and play Caitlin less. At the same time, other teams focused on improving around their star players. The Dallas Wings made moves to strengthen their lineup, the Las Vegas Aces improved their bench, and the New York Liberty added more shooting. In contrast, the Fever mostly added more guards, which doesn't clearly address their main weaknesses and instead creates a situation where their best player might end up playing less.
Even as early as her freshman year, Aaliyah telling her, we want to listen to you, lead us. And she said she carried that with her throughout her 4 years and really took that to heart. And I love that. And she's just so competitive. I mean, you see her in the semifinal versus UConn guarding Sarah Strong. I mean, that is one of the things, we heard consistently from Dawn and the coaching staff is, she wants to guard the best player every single night. Like, she's up for the challenge. So again, that competitive drive is something that you cannot teach, coupled with obviously elite defensively and continuing to improve on the offensive end of the ball. We feel like she's got a really bright future.
Now we're getting to the core of the argument. The idea seems to be that concerns about Kelsey Mitchell's workload are shaping the roster decisions. She's still a very strong player, averaging 19.2 points last season, just like Caitlin Clark, and brings scoring, experience, and leadership. But she's 29 and has been in the league since 2018, so naturally she has more mileage on her body. Caitlin, on the other hand, is only 23 and just entering her second season, still adjusting to the pro level. So treating both players as if they need the same kind of minute restrictions doesn't really add up.
She was playing in that first game. I had a level of excitement to see her back on the floor. I mean, she's so special. She's so elite. The way that she prepares herself, the things that she's able to do, the way she's able to make her teammates better. Obviously we are better when she's on the floor, but the league is just better as a whole. I mean, she is a generational special talent. And so of course, we're thrilled to have her back on the floor, leading the charge for us.
This part really highlights the concern. The way Caitlin Clark is being talked about almost sounds like she's a new addition or a free agent signing, when in reality she's already the franchise cornerstone. She's under contract and was the main reason the Fever became relevant again. While the praise for her return and work ethic is fair, what's missing is any clear statement that the team should be built around her. By the end of last season, Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell had developed strong chemistry and looked like one of the best backcourts in the league, the kind of duo teams usually build around.
It's smelling a little fishy, guys. It's smelling a little fishy, man. Indiana Fever GM Amber Cox went on Indy Star and basically revealed that Caitlin Clark is going to be on a minutes restriction. They're going to be limiting her playing time and things like that. They're using this whole injury thing. The injury was a year ago. She played in the Olympics, all of that stuff. They're talking about they don't want to play players high minutes. Listen, man, Caitlin Clark, take the shackles off of her. Let her cook. We are tired of this song and dance. We're tired of playing games with y'all. We want to see the GOAT cook. It's an MVP season loading. Y'all are wasting time and playing games.
This situation feels less like player protection and more like the team being afraid to take risks. Caitlin Clark is the biggest star in women's basketball right now. She brings fans, ratings, and attention to the league, and she's the main reason the Fever became relevant again. With that kind of talent, teams usually go all in to win, but instead, the Fever seem to be playing it safe by limiting her minutes. Great players in the past were trusted to stay on the court and lead their teams, especially in their prime. Caitlin has already shown she's healthy and capable. She played at a high level internationally, won MVP, and looked completely fine physically. So the concern doesn't really seem to be about her health or performance. It looks more like the team wants a safety net. If they struggle, they can say they were being cautious. But that approach can backfire. If she plays fewer minutes, the team may struggle when she's off the court, lose close games, and fall behind in the standings. By the time they realize the mistake and adjust, they could have already lost valuable time building chemistry and momentum. Instead of maximizing their star and building a strong contender, they risk wasting part of their season. The real question is how Caitlin responds. Does she accept it, challenge it, or simply prove through her performance that she should be on the floor more?